This is Duke University.
Hello, my name is Greg Victory, and I'm the Executive Director of the Duke University Career Center and an Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs. Today, I want to talk to you about Career Readiness 101, and to encourage you to think about all the things you've already accomplished and you're about to accomplish, and how those skills and competencies and experiences help you figure out what's next after Duke. One of my favorite quotes is by a psychologist by the name of Daniel Levinson. One of the greatest paradoxes of human development is that we are required to make crucial choices, especially about careers and work, before we have the knowledge, judgment, and self-understanding to choose wisely. What this really means is we're asking you to make decisions about your major, about your future, about your career, without giving you the opportunity to really explore all of the wonderful experiences that exist out there. New career paths, new graduate programs, experiences that you get really excited and jazzed about. So I want to help you today figure out how to make sense of all that you experience at Duke. And we talk about that, about being career ready. And the idea that career readiness is the attainment and demonstration of the necessary competencies that broadly prepare college graduates for a successful transition into the workplace and into graduate and professional schools. In essence, all the things that you'll do at Duke may help you figure out what's next. Those competencies, as defined by a great deal of research done with employers across a multitude of industries, are critical thinking and problem solving, oral and written communications, collaboration and teamwork, global and intercultural fluency, professionalism and work ethic, digital technology, leadership, and all rolling into the idea of career management. I'm going to take a little bit of time to go through each of those competencies and give you a few examples of how you might already be experiencing those at Duke, or ideas on how you might experience those in the future. The first is critical thinking and problem solving. In fact, the top 4 most important competencies as identified by a group of employers are critical thinking and problem solving, communications, teamwork and collaboration, and professionalism and work ethic. So if you think about critical thinking and problem solving, this doesn't mean that you have to be a STEM major or you have to study economics. It means you just have to understand how to use sound reasoning to do analysis around all different types of issues. Those could be policy issues, they could be financial issues, they could be sociological and anthropology issues, but it's really about taking that data, making decisions, and helping figure out a solution to a series of problems. These are skills that are utilized in every single industry and every single field, and that we desperately need more of across the world. The individual is able to obtain, interpret, and use knowledge and facts and data in this process and may demonstrate originality and inventiveness. So there's lots of ways you can demonstrate these experiences at Duke. Sure, some of those could be projects in your classrooms. They could be lab assignments in a lab discipline. They could be Duke Engage or Bass Connection experiences. They could be a problem you solve for a local nonprofit in Durham. They could be an opportunity in your student organization to help find a solution to a challenge for other students at Duke. There's a multitude of different ways where you can demonstrate these critical thinking and problem solving skills, and that you're able to sort of then articulate how you've done that to employers, to graduate schools, to others who might be willing or interested in hiring you for future opportunities. Oral and written communications, pretty self-explanatory in a lot of ways, but what this doesn't mean is that you have to be the world's best orator, that you have to be able to stand up in front of 1,000 individuals and give a speech. It means you actually have to be able to tell a story, and storytelling is such a crucial part of the job search process. It's telling a story about why somebody should support the organization that you're part of, why they should get behind the idea or policy that you believe in, about why your boss should give you a raise for the work that you're doing, or adopt the idea that you've worked so hard to develop. It's really an articulation of thoughts and ideas in a clearly and effective deliverable way, whether that's in written or oral format, to persons both inside and outside your organization. You have to have public speaking skills, but again, I look at those more as presentational skills, to be able to talk in front of a small group of folks, or make a pitch to a group of investors. You're able to express your ideas to others, both in written and spoken word. And you can write and edit memos, whether those are press releases, persuasion papers, executive summaries, process papers, lab reports, whatever it might be, and able to take complex information and sort of deliver it in a way that other people can understand. So there are tons of different ways, right? Some folks struggle and they say, why do I have to take this sort of writing 101 seminar? But that's a way for you to learn to fine tune your presentation skills. Maybe you say in your student organization, I'm not the one who generally stands up and makes a statement about a topic or an idea we're talking about. And I'm going to learn how to be able to do that because there are things I want people to know and there are things that I want to be able to say, and I'm going to practice doing that. You can practice this and build this and having debates about things that you care about with your friends, or going out and supporting a nonprofit or a movement and finding ways to write persuasive letters to change the way that we talk about a particular topic. You know, this happens in extracurricular activities, maybe in group work. You know, some of us don't always love group work and we sort of sit back and let others be the person who presents. But I'm going to step up and say, this time I want to present because it's going to build my skills and my confidence, and having the ability to deliver information in a way that makes sense about things that I care about. The next one is collaboration and teamwork. This is a hard one sometimes, right? Sometimes we get stuck in a group with people we don't know, or people that maybe we don't even like, or we sort of feel like we always have to carry the ball, that we're the one who's always getting the work done, and that nobody else sort of commits to the same level we do. Or we sort of say, hey, we're going to collaborate. And I see this happen a lot. People say they collaborate. Student groups collaborate because, hey, maybe I don't have enough resources in my budget to be able to do this program I really want to do. So we're going to collaborate with another group. But this is really about building mutually beneficial relationships with colleagues and customers and clients who represent the diversity of the world of work, the diversity around us, who come with different vantage points and viewpoints. This isn't me building a team of people who think and act and have the same experience as I do. This is about building a team of people who think and have different experiences than I do, so that the end result is much more powerful and has a greater impact. So you're able to work within a team structure and can negotiate and manage conflict. Those two skills are super important. You know, as you move through your career, you may be supervising other folks. How do you, in that supervision, sort of give critical feedback to somebody else? How do you negotiate challenging conversations? So are you the person in your organization who, when conflict sort of surfaces, you step back? Or you're the person who sort of figures out ways to look at a particular challenging situation and talk from different vantage points and help the team find a set of particular solutions? Are you the person who, when the group isn't working towards a common goal, all of a sudden say, well, I'm just going to do this by myself and not worry about it because the only grade I get is the one that's about my portion of the project, versus finding a way to get the team to work together? Are you finding common goals for each other? You know, and this again plays out in a multitude of different ways. It plays out in student clubs and organizations. It plays out in a project, research that you're doing with a faculty member. It plays out in classroom opportunities. It plays out in athletics and teams, right? You know, if you're struggling, let's say you're not having the best season as an athlete and you're struggling with your record, do you sort of give up on the team and only focus on your own growth and development? Or do you motivate the folks around you to understand that the goal is a shared goal and the work is shared work? And this is one that's really important because so much of the work we do in so many fields requires different sets of expertise and experiences, different vantage points, and the ability to understand that folks are coming to the problem from a different set of perspectives. Global and intercultural fluency, right? And this is more important than ever before, particularly in the US, as we're challenged by systemic racism, sort of anti-immigration behaviors that we sort of are not necessarily understanding the own power and privilege that some of us come to situations with. It is about value and respecting the diverse cultures and races and ages and genders and sexual orientations and religions of the folks that we study with, that we live with, that we work with. It is about owning your own privilege, owning your own power, and being open and inclusive to and sensitive to the backgrounds and experiences and traditions of others. It's not that my way is the right way. It's that it is understanding that folks have a different set of experiences than maybe we have, and that you can build those experiences and competencies in a variety of different ways. And whether that's through studying abroad in a country where you're not the majority, with a language that may be not your primary language, not your first language. It's about are you engaging with others on the Duke campus? Are you joining student organizations where you have an interest in the work that they're doing, but you may not look or have the same backgrounds or experiences as those around you? It's about calling into question when there are systems at the university and the community and a workplace that really are not inclusive. It's about sort of questioning your own experiences and owning up to your own power and privilege and how that plays out and the opportunities that you have. It's attending events that other student organizations put on that are not an organization that you necessarily belong to, or sort of infusing yourself into the community to learn more about the community and people around you. This is a crucial piece, right? Yes, it is about language. It is about studying other cultures. But it's also about understanding a great deal about yourself. And Duke has lots of opportunities for you to dig deeper and to question your own sort of experiences and traditions and how those play out for your sort of own ability to develop as a professional. Professionalism and work ethic, some people always think about this as, oh, it's the way I dress. And I think professional dress is an ever-changing situation that, every industry has its own code, has its own set of rules and regulations. I always say to people, if you're interviewing for a software engineering job at Microsoft, you don't want to wear a suit to that position because most of those software engineers are wearing t-shirts and jeans, and it's understanding that culture. But professionalism in short is really about your commitment, your word. There's a quote out there that basically says, professionalism is what people say about you when you leave the room. That's your reputation. And it's, hey, I said I was going to commit to doing this, and I actually am going to hold myself personally accountable to actually following through on that commitment. That when I RSVP for an event, I'm going to show up for that event, or I'm going to, if I can't come, let people know that I can't come. So it's about your effective work habits. It is about showing up on time and understanding that does impact how people see you as a professional. It's about not taking on too much, right? It's about bandwidth. There are a lot of students who sort of feel like they can't say no because people will think less of them. But you run the risk of sort of taking on projects that you're not going to be able to get done. And if you don't deliver on those, there's far more consequences than saying in the beginning, I just don't think I have the ability right now to take on that additional project. It's about nonverbal communication, right? So are you in a meeting with other people and somebody says something you don't agree with, and do you roll your eyes or chuckle or not pay attention? Or you're not sort of engaged in the conversations in the workplace because you're bored or you don't think it's important to you? Really, it's about your professional image. So how do you demonstrate, integrity and ethical behavior? How do you act responsibly with the interests of the larger community in mind, right? So there's you or your team, and then there's a larger community. And this is about, taking that early morning class, which you don't really want to take, but it gets you set up to sort of work in a different sort of way. It's not taking on projects that you're not going to be to deliver your best work at the end of that particular experience. It's about finding out ways to challenge some of your own particular experiences. Do you understand that, okay, I know that I often procrastinate and I do that a lot, or, I don't always sort of show up when I say I'm going to show up, and how do I hold myself accountable to those particular experiences and those and grow myself into a professional, because that will reflect I always say to people, being the last person in the office doesn't impress me, because my first question is, are you actually managing your time well? Why are you there so late? If I'm the last one in the office and I'm walking out and you're still there, I have a lot of questions about why you're still there. Is it really you trying to show me that makes you a harder worker than anybody else? I don't think so. So I think you want to sort of balance those particular experiences and understand professionalism is sort of the well-rounded nature of how you approach your work. As an intern, if you're done with a project, do you ask for more? Do you say, hey, I have some more bandwidth or more time, I'm willing to help out here? Or if you see people struggling, are you willing to sort of reach out and lend a hand and offer your own expertise? Leadership, I think this is the most overutilized word on a college campus, right? Oftentimes when you apply to Duke, you list all the things you did through high school or boarding school, and you say, okay, well, I served soup in a soup kitchen, I helped at a homeless shelter, I did this, I did this, I did this, I was the leader of these 16 clubs, the captain of this team, whatever it might be. And for me, leadership is not positional, right? It is about understanding the folks who are on your team, leveraging their strengths, and focusing the team towards a common goal. And how do you coach people through that process? How do you use your own interpersonal skills? Like you see your team losing motivation. You see them struggling a little bit. You see maybe the goal isn't as clear. Or people are sort of having a hard time because you're not getting as many wins as you'd want to. What are you as an individual doing? How are you coaching that process? How are you finding inspiration for that team? So that it's a lot about interpersonal skills. It's about understanding the people who you work with, who you live with, who you study with. What are their skills? What do you know that they bring to the table? It's about manage your own emotions. So getting into a situation where somebody says something that you're really kind of ticked off about, and do you respond immediately, right? So maybe they send you an email, and the email is, you don't really like the tone of it, you don't really like what they had to say. Do you draft something and save it in your draft folder versus hitting the send button? Are you able to control your own emotions in those particular situations? And sort of decide, am I responding emotionally and maybe irrationally, or am I really thinking about the words I'm using and the things I want to say and the point I want to get across? Being empathetic, really about thinking about what is somebody else experiencing, not assuming, sometimes even asking those. It's about active listening. And then it is also about organization, right? Good leaders not only can motivate their teams and help them set a vision and a mission, but give them a set of structures and skills and priorities in order to get the work done. So at Duke, there's lots of ways to be able to do that, right? So inside the classroom, do you take on a project and, leadership role in a project where you're helping coordinate that particular team and motivating the team around you to stay focused on what the potential goal is? Are you, really thinking about allocating tasks to others in those particular situations? Are you stepping up when there's a conversation in a class or in your residence hall that you don't agree with and offering a different perspective? Are you actively listening among your friends to what they have to offer? Are you in an internship or on a research project where you see a different way to be able to get to the end result? Or there's data or information that people aren't really paying as close attention to as you think they should. Are you willing to stand up and make a case for why somebody should pay attention to that? Are you willing and able to step up and support somebody who needs help in a particular situation? And whether that's, working with a community organization to help them move forward, whether that's tutoring, a middle school or high school student, or getting people excited about education in a new way. It's really about understanding the people around you and how do you leverage their strengths, understand your own strengths and weaknesses, and help folks reach a common goal. Now, I'm not saying you can't be the president of a student organization and be a good leader. I am saying that being a president of a student organization doesn't necessarily make you a good leader. It is the skills and competencies that you develop and demonstrate that sort of allow you to use that term to describe yourself. The next is digital technology. Pretty self-explanatory, but it doesn't mean you need to take a computer science class or a minor in computer science. It does mean you need to understand when technology is a possible solution. And then how do you actually look at those technology platforms and make a decision about how they might help resolve a particular situation? Is there a tool out there that helps you manage your work better? Is there a platform out there that can keep a project moving forward from a project management standpoint? Is there a communication tool that would help our organization communicate better? Are we able to look at website and web development to get a story across about our particular organization? Right. So this is about you not being the expert in building that technology, but being able to understand how technology works and how adapting it and being aware of it helps move organizations forward. So I'll give you my own example. So I've been working in career services for a number of years, and there's a lot of tools on the market around the career space, a lot of ed tech tools that surface all the time. And in my previous institution, in 1 year, I brought on 3 new technologies that made us 35 to 40% more efficient and increased student satisfaction about threefold, with students' ability to be able to access information 24/7 that they weren't able to before. Right now, I've never taken a computer science class. I've actually only taken 1 math class in both my undergraduate and graduate degrees. But I was able to understand that there are tools out there to see how those tools work and to understand how operational efficiency works, right? How do we make things better? But a lot of this, or some of this also has to do, it's a combo of digital technology and sort of critical thinking and problem solving is data analytics. Can you take tools and information and make sense of that information in a way that's beneficial to the organizations that you're working for? So this could be taking a class. It could be using LinkedIn Learning to pick up an understanding of a particular data set. It could be a tool that you use in one of your classes that helps you sort of understand technology and its applications. It could be creating your own app if you want to do that. It could be participating in a hackathon. There's lots of ways to demonstrate this that aren't just about taking sort of that technology related class to give you a specific outcome. And the final one is really about career management, right? And this is where we can be a partner with you in the Career Center, where we want to work side by side with you. It's really an opportunity for you to identify and articulate your skills, your strength, your knowledge, and your experiences to whatever positions and career goals you have. And those are going to ebb and flow and change maybe significant directions or courses. It's really about, as I think about the experiences I've had at Duke and outside of Duke, how might those things apply to the types of jobs or internships or the graduate or professional programs that I want to apply for? It doesn't mean I have to have this major and this major automatically gets me an opportunity in this particular career or in this particular industry. It's really about, how do you tell a story? How do you sort of collect the experiences you have and reflect on those with other folks, whether those are, folks in the Career Center, your advisors, faculty members, members of your family, members of the Duke family. So Duke alums are great at helping students understand what the process looks like. And then it's really helping you and really thinking about, how do you navigate and explore these options? How do you take the steps to pursue those opportunities? And how do you self-advocate for yourself in the workplace? So once you get that job or internship, how do you continue to understand your own growth, your own potential, the things you want to learn? How do you ask to say, look, I'm really interested in learning more about this? Is there training? Are there experiences that I might be able to take to move forward? So for me, the sort of goal of your time at Duke is really to become this multi-skilled T worker. And most students that I've met already have really sort of demonstrated this in a really profound sort of way. They have really broad interests. They're interested in a ton of different things. They're participating in different clubs and organizations. They're really considering how they want to get involved in the community, how they want to get involved in the world, how they want to get involved on campus. They sort of are, dabbling in a variety of different courses. Maybe they're an economics major, but they're taking a Russian literature course, or they're a sociology major and they're taking a course in math, or they're a math major, taking a course in policy. It's really about understanding and communicating across these many disciplines and systems and competencies, but at the same time having some depth, right? So I want to focus deeply on something. Is that a culture or a language? Is that a particular set of disciplines? Is it a set of tools or a system that I want to be able to use? And that these competencies allow you to build this T-shaped worker that you can then, this identity that you can then use to explore a variety of different career paths, right? Because you can say, yeah, I'm really good at analytical thinking. I can take large swaths of data and make sense out of those, but I also speak another language. I have an interest in comedy, so I can find humor in a way to tell stories. I actually have an understanding of how ethically this data could be used to write a policy for the federal government to change the way we look at education. So that's really this sort of well-rounded T-shaped individual that I feel that Duke gives you an opportunity to really deliver on over the course of your time at the institution. So I want to leave you a couple last thoughts. You know, part of this process is about reflection, right? And think of us as a thought partner. You know, we want you to slow down a little bit. There's so much of a rush to get through things, to check off that next piece on the checklist, and really sort of spend some time when you can about what gives me energy. What do I get really excited about? I mean, some of my favorite parts of my job, actually my favorite part of my job, is having one-to-one conversations or small group conversations with students and really asking them, what makes you tick? What do you really get excited about? What are the things you care about? And are those things that you can actually do as a career, like that you can do as a job? And how do we get you closer to those? How do we get you to talk to other people? You know, figure out that purpose, right? Not passion. I think that's a different thing. Figure out your purpose. What is it that you do really well? And how do you do that well in a way that it makes a difference? Continue to think through and clarify your goals and interests. They may shift and shape, you know, a dozen times before you graduate, and that's perfectly okay. Be more intentional with your time. Think about what it is that you really do like to do, and don't necessarily get caught up with what everybody else is around you doing. I mean, sometimes there seems to be this pressure of, hey, everybody else who studies economics is going into finance, and there's nothing wrong with going into finance, but there's a multitude of ways that you can take what you're learning in economics and apply it to the world, in addition to finance as an industry. And really be active in your reflection. Sometimes, you know, some people that's journaling, some people that's exploring or just finding some times to process some things. Sometimes that's meeting with somebody else to walk through, hey, you know, I had this conversation, or I was reading this article, or I had this experience in class that really got me excited and motivated to really dig deeper and do more. And then connect, right? You don't have to do this alone. The part of the opportunity you have in a community like Duke is it gives you a chance to connect. You know, if you look at any of the data from the senior survey, students point a lot to faculty and staff as being key advisors around lots of things, and in particular career. Right? How do I talk to my faculty member about their own experiences, or maybe sort of older students? How do I talk to my peers about, hey, you talked about this internship you had last summer, and it seemed really cool. Can you tell me more about that particular experience? You know, and then utilize us at the Career Center. Really, it's not about a transactional experience. You don't have to have a resume. You don't have to know what you want to do. If you do, that's great. And if you don't, that's great. We're willing and interested and excited to have conversations with you and help you sort of talk through some of the things that you're sort of struggling with, or the questions you have, and then help you think about who are the right people to connect with. You know, prepare for interactions with Duke alumni, whether that's using Ask a Blue Devil or the Duke Alumni Directory, or finding Duke alums on LinkedIn. You know, walk through what their particular experiences are. Develop a board of directors, and we talk a lot about this. Who are the people who will help you make these key decisions, right? And that board of directors may change over the course of time. It's not sort of a lifetime appointment. I still, at my age, have a board of directors. There's only one member on that who has been on it since the beginning, and that's my mentor from college, who just celebrated her 46th year at my undergraduate institution. And I don't make any major decision in my life without consulting her. Who are the people who can give you advice? The thing I love about her is she's the one who holds me accountable and says, hey, I think you're rushing into this. And she doesn't sort of spare words, which I really appreciate, right? And seek advice and ask for help. The exciting thing about Duke is that there's thousands of us here who want to see you succeed and who want to sort of help you through the challenges of college, of life after college, of not knowing exactly it is what you want to do. I think that's great. I think exploring is awesome. And I think you should spend more time doing that, because you're not going to pick a job and likely have that job or industry for the rest of your career. You know, I keep saying to students, career is what you look back upon the day you retire, not what you set out to do. And realize it's really fun to learn from the experiences of others. You may talk to an alum who talks about an experience they have that gets you so jazzed and excited that you say, hey, I want to learn more about this. Couple parting thoughts. Remember to believe in your value, right? That there are things that you are doing that may not come with a grade or an award, but that have value. You know, projects that you work on in the community, ideas and thoughts that you take up among your friends, getting involved in a student organization to make a difference, doing research that has some sort of impact, participating in a project that has a really significant outcome. Those are things that employers are looking for. It's not about solely your grades or what you did in the classroom. Those are important data points. They're not the only data point. Stay open to new things. There's things you'll experience at your time that during your time at Duke that really sort of may throw you for a loop, that you may like, hey, I never knew I was interested in this before. Think about what that is and be open to sort of exploring that. Ask questions. Ask questions of your faculty, ask questions of your career advisors, ask questions of your friends, ask questions of Duke alums. Explore new paths. You know, don't sort of put the blinders on and not think about what else might come up and what else might present itself as something to sort of think differently about. And take risk and fail forward. This is the time to be able to try things out in a really safe and supportive environment. So don't sort of miss out on an opportunity to say, I'm going to take this class. You know what? I might not get an A in it, but it's really interesting and I'm okay with that. Because in most cases, your GPA really doesn't matter a ton. I mean, it may matter for graduate school. It may matter in certain fields. But the difference between a 3.75 and a 3.6 is really not that important. If you can point to the fact that I took this class, it was out of my major and discipline, it seemed really interesting, and you know what, I got a B or B plus in it, but I learned so much from that particular experience, right? Because generally after that, nobody really cares what your GPA was, and in most cases, people don't care what your major is after you get your first or maybe second job. So think about taking some risk and not being caught in the, this is exactly the way I need to do this. And remember that whatever you think your direction is, it will be challenged by new experiences that sound and actually are really interesting. Take some time and reflect on those experiences, connect with the Duke community, and ask for help from the Career Center or other trusted advisors. We're here to help you succeed. The competencies that you build are competencies that you can take with you, that you can develop over the course of your time at Duke and beyond. We don't expect you to master all of those. We expect you to focus and work towards developing a stronger sense of those and to be able to tell the story about how those experiences play out for your future career opportunities. And always think about the ways your experiences at Duke make you career ready. Thank you. If you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to schedule an appointment at the Career Center. We're here to support you in this process, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you, and have a great day.